Hello everyone. In this session, I will walk you through the Onfinity application installation and hosting process. We will cover the complete installation process, including system requirements, database configuration using Oracle or PostgreSQL, IIS website hosting, application pool configuration, permission settings, web config updates, application access, and final product registration. By the end of this guide, you will be able to successfully deploy and host the Onfinity application in your environment. Before beginning the installation, it is important to verify that your system meets the minimum hardware and software requirements. The server can be either a physical machine or a virtual machine running in a cloud or VMware environment. The minimum hardware requirement includes 8 GB of RAM or more, an Intel i5 processor or higher for physical servers, or at least 4 cores in case of a virtual machine. A minimum of 100 GB storage space should be available, and the server must have active internet connectivity to register the application. Onfinity application is supported on 64-bit versions of Windows 10 and Windows 11, as well as Windows Server 2012 R2, 2016, 2019, and 2022 editions. Ensure that you have administrative privileges on the system before proceeding with the installation. In addition to the operating system, certain software components must be installed. The server must have Google Chrome with the latest stable version, Microsoft.NET Framework 4.8, and IIS version 7.0 or higher. For the database, Onfinity application supports either Oracle version 19c or PostgreSQL version 15. While installing IIS, make sure all required roles and features are selected. This includes common HTTP features like default document, directory browsing, HTTP errors, and static content. For security, select request filtering, Windows authentication, basic authentication. For performance, select static content compression, dynamic content compression. For application development, select .NET Extensibility 3.5, 4.8, application initialization, ASP.NET 3.5, 4.8, ASP.NET, ISAPI extensions, ISAPI filters, server-side includes, and WebSocket protocol. At last, management tools includes IIS Management Console and Management Service. Once the prerequisites are verified, the next step is database configuration. Onfinity application supports 2 relational database management systems, Oracle and PostgreSQL. You may choose either one based on your environment. Let us first look at the Oracle requirements. The supported Oracle database versions are Oracle 12c, Release 2, and 19c or above. Before proceeding with the installation, make sure that the database character set is configured as AL32UTF8. Another important configuration is related to deferred segment creation. Before creating a new user for importing the database file, ensure that deferred segment creation is disabled. You can configure this by running the following command in the Oracle database. Alter system set deferred segment creation equals false semicolon. This ensures proper table and segment creation during the database import process. If you need detailed steps for installing Oracle, you can refer to the official installation guide provided in the reference link. Now let us look at the PostgreSQL requirements. Onfinity supports PostgreSQL version 15. Before creating the database, make sure the character set is configured as UTF-8. After that, create a new database and grant the required permissions to the database user, who will be used by the Onfinity application. For the detailed installation and setup process of PostgreSQL, you can follow the reference documentation provided in the link. Once the database prerequisites are completed, we can proceed with the database setup and application deployment steps. Now, the next step is to download the Onfinity installation package. Open the server where IIS and database is installed. open your browser and visit the Onfinity website at onfinity.io. Click on Community Dash. Click on Installation Packages. You can download either PostgreSQL or Oracle based on your environment. In my case, I am downloading the Oracle file. After the download is complete, extract the zip file. Here, you will see three main components. First, Onfinity DB, which includes the database export dump along with a README file that provides database-related instructions. Second, Onfinity-hosting files, which contains the application files required to run the Onfinity application. And third, the Onfinity login credential file, named onfinity_app_credentials.txt, which contains the default login details for accessing the application. These files will be used in the next steps to configure the database and host the Onfinity application in IIS. Now we will walk through the process of importing Onfinity data into an Oracle database. Before starting the import process, make sure the required prerequisites are met. First, ensure that Oracle database is installed and running on your system. The user performing the import must have DBA privileges or the required permissions to perform a schema import. Also, make sure you have the Onfinity Oracle database dump file that was created using the datapump export utility. We are talking about this Onfinity community.dmp file. The first step is to copy the dump file to the Oracle server folder. In our setup, the dump file will be placed in the e/dump directory as db_dump. You can check the existing Oracle directories by running the following SQL query: select directory_name, directory_path from DBA_directories, semicolon. If the required directory does not exist, create a new directory using the following command: create or replace directory expdp_dir as path_directory, semicolon. Replace path_directory with the actual location on the server where the dump file will be stored. Now let us start with Oracle database setup and dump import. Open command prompt on the server where Oracle database is installed and connect to the database using SQL Plus with SYSDBA privileges. SQL Plus /as SYSDBA, semicolon. Now run the following command to list all available pluggable databases, or PDBS. Show PDBS, semicolon. If your Oracle installation does not contain any PDBS, you can continue using the default container database or create a new PDB based on your environment requirements. If the required PDB exists, switch the session to that database using the following command: alter session set container equals PDB_name, semicolon. Now run this following command: create user, DB user, identified by password, semicolon. Grant DBA, connect, resource, create view to DB user, semicolon. Alter user, DB user, default table space users, semicolon. Grant create sequence to DB user, semicolon. This command will create a new database user with password. Grant the necessary roles and permissions required for the application. Assign the user's table space as the default table space for the database user. Allow the user to create database sequences. At last, run this data import command: impdp directory equals db_dump, dump file equals onfinity community.dmp, log file equals db, import.log remap_schema equals onfinity community : db user. Here, directory equals db_dump specifies the Oracle directory object where the dump file is stored. Dump file equals onfinity community.dmp is the export file that contains the database schema and data. Log file equals db import.log will store the import process logs and any errors if they occur. Finally, remap_schema equals onfinity community : db user tells Oracle to import all data from the Onfinity community schema into DB user schema. You can verify this Onfinity community schema username from this file. Scroll down. This is Onfinity community schema username, and this is the schema name that we created. Press Enter to start the import process. When prompted, enter the username dbuser and the password dbuser123 that we created earlier. Once the credentials are entered, the import process will begin. Please wait for a few moments while the data is being imported into the database. The database has been created successfully. Now, we will move forward with the website creation in IIS. At this stage, we have following details with us. After file transfer, open IIS Manager. Right-click on Sites and select Add Website. Enter the site name as Onfinity or any preferred name. Browse and select the physical path where the Onfinity hosting files were placed. Choose HTTP as the binding type and specify the port number on which the application should run. Click on OK. Next, configure the application pool. In IIS Manager, open Application Pools and locate the application pool created for the new website. Click on Advanced Settings. Set the .NET CLR version to version 4.0. Under the Identity setting, select Built-in Account and choose Network Service. Click on OK. Ensure the idle timeout value is 20 minutes or greater. Click on to apply the changes. After configuring the application pool, set the required folder permissions. Navigate to the physical folder where the hosting files were placed. Right-click the folder, open Properties, go to the Security tab. Click on Edit, then Add, Advanced. Click on Find Now. Search iUser. Click OK. Again, Advanced. Find Now Search and select Network Service. Click OK, then OK. Grant full control permissions to both users. Apply the changes. To confirm or verify the applied changes, right-click on Folder, open Properties, go to the Security tab. Check iUser with full control permission and Network Service with full control permissions. The next step is to configure the Oracle Database Connection String. Open Onfinity Application folder and open the web config file in a text editor such as Notepad or Notepad++. Scroll down and locate the Oracle Connection String entry and update the host name. You can use localhost if your database and IIS are on the same server. If your database is hosted on another server, then you need to enter the server IP address. In my case, both the database and IIS are on same server, so I am using localhost. However, if needed, you can also enter the server IP address instead of localhost. Update port number. Service name. ORCL is default database container. Update username and password. After making the changes, save the file and close the text editor. The application is now ready for testing. Open Google Chrome and enter followed by the server IP address, followed by the configured port number in the format of http://192.168.0.129:8047. The Onfinity login page will appear. Use the credentials provided in the Onfinity_app_credentials.txt file. Copy username and password. Click on Login. It will ask to set a new complex password. After logging in successfully for the first time, the system will prompt you to enter the product license key. Enter the license key provided by the Onfinity support team. Once the key is validated, the application will be fully activated and ready for use. For production or global access, it is highly recommended not to use a public IP address with a port number. Instead, configure a domain name and install a valid SSL certificate in IIS. Bind the website to HTTPS and open only port 443 in the firewall. Redirect all HTTP traffic to HTTPS to ensure secure communication. Accessing the application through a domain name enhances security and follows best practices. Now let us proceed with IIS domain name binding. Open IIS Manager, go to Sites, select your site. On the right-hand side, click on Bindings, then Add. Under the type, select HTTPS, port 443, enter your domain name, click on Require Server Name Indication, select SSL Certificate, then click on OK. Thank you for watching this demonstration. For any technical assistance or advanced configuration support, please contact the Onfinity support team.